Mike Looney.
Oh no! Contact in front of the field. Mike Looney goes around.
And for point leader Carson Quaffle, every weapon his competitors on the Cars Tour have will be pointed straight at him. The combined horsepower and firepower that his rivals have is only outmatched by the Air Force Base near the racetrack and the warships at port in Norfolk. The impressive firepower and horsepower that the field of 20-plus Cars Tour stars will bring to bear to grab the victory away from Quaffle should make this one of the best challenges of his season-long superiority. Can Carson Quaffle leave Langley still miles ahead in the standings? Or does this race uncover a weakness for the competition to seize upon? It will be a dogfight. Only one will emerge the winner of this battle. The Cars Tour Visit Hampton.com 125 is next.
And welcome to Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. This is the event everybody has been waiting for, Brian White. The Visit Hampton.com 125. The cars are rolling onto the front straightaway. We are just mere moments away from the command to fire engines on this, one of the biggest races of, call it late spring, early summer, whatever you'd like to call it, here in the Tidewater region of North Carolina. Also would like to welcome those of you watching in our free preview on social media. If you like what you see, head on over to www.carstour.tv for all the action from Langley here tonight. Well, the cars are situated. There we see Series President Jack McNelly down at the head of the grid. Carson Quaffle, Connor Hall, and everybody else. And, Brian, this is promising to be a very, very good race.
It indeed is. The fourth time this series has come to Hampton, Virginia. That's right, 4 years of excitement now. We've got 20 drivers, 20 teams ready to take to battle here for 125 laps of racing. It's going to be a dandy of an event.
It certainly is going to be a gem dandy of an event. Vaughn Crittenden will be down trackside with our dignitaries momentarily to give the command to fire engines as we take one final look at this field with their cars pristine, polished, and intact before 125 laps. We hope they emerge pristine, polished, and intact, but something tells me that there might be a few donuts, even though it's a donut day later, or day later than donut day, as Mark Wirtz in the CorvetteParts.net ride can tell you about. There'll probably be a few donuts here today as well. I do believe that Vaughn Crittenden has made his way down trackside with the dignitaries for this evening's Visit Hampton.com 125. And there is Vaughn with those individuals, and I believe that, Vaughn, you've got a very important job for those folks to get done here this afternoon.
That's right. I'm down here on the front straightaway with Valda and James from the city of Hampton. Guys, give us the words we've been waiting for.
Drivers, start your engine!
I love that sound, Brian White, and oh boy. 20 cars set to go for 125 laps here this afternoon and this evening. Great crowd has filed in to the Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, and they've slowly been trickling in all evening, coming to see if anybody can beat that guy, Carson Quaffle. And, well, quite literally here tonight, they're going to have to as he starts on the Hedgecock pole.
That's right, a great qualification effort earlier this afternoon under bright blue skies. That is not the case tonight, as, of course, the sun has set. We're ready to go racing here this evening, and the voice of this series, I tell you, Tony, Carson Quaffle, 2 victories here in 2022.
2 wins for sure. And you take a look at that weather report you were just alluding to. Perfect night for racing. Partly cloudy skies, a brilliant 73 degrees with moderate humidity and a slight wind out of the northwest. You could not ask for a better night by any means here at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. Well, before we roll these cars off, we're going to head down trackside to the third member of our broadcast crew yet again here this evening, and that is James Pike on pit lane. James?
Well, thank you, Tony. I was speaking with Connor Hall earlier this afternoon, and you figure being a hometown driver with everybody up in the stands that there might be a little bit more pressure on him tonight to perform well. But the opposite is actually the case. He told me, I'm going to treat this just like I treat any other race on the schedule, because what brings me the most joy, what makes me happiest, is when we go out and we do our job well, and we beat the best drivers and the best cars and win the biggest purses, which is what the Cars Tour offers to late model stock car drivers. So maybe a little bit more low-key approach from Connor Hall this evening, but it might be that kind of approach that lands him in Edelbrock victory lane at the end of the night.
Very well could be, James. And you look at the spotlight there for Connor Hall, and you can see in a 6-race Cars Tour career, Brian, 1 win that came a few races ago at the Goodyear All-American Speedway. 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s, currently 4th in series points, and he is one fast cookie when it comes to some of these events. You got to beat Connor Hall if you're going to have a shot to win a Solid Rock Carriers Cars Tour race.
I agree, and of course Connor Hall, as you mentioned, that one victory this year, guess what? He's won at this racetrack many times, including the Hampton Heat 200 in years past, so he's certainly going to be one driver I'm going to watch.
A couple of other drivers to keep your eye on if you're watching along with us here on Cars Tour TV are the pair on your screen, 1 and 2 in series points, and you can look at those stats, very similar with one glaring difference. That third line, the average finish of Carson Kvapil, the point leader, is 2.2. Second place's average finish is 7.4. Our pre-race show way about 3 hours ago tonight talked about what does it take to beat the 8-car Carson Kvapil. A lot of drivers said bad luck on his part because everybody else has had bad luck too. He just has not yet, but sometimes when you have those nights, that's what it takes to win a championship. And just like Bobby McCarty this year, he can't do anything right to save his life. No matter where he turns, there's bad luck everywhere after last year having a championship season. And speaking of the points, as they come in here to the Larry King Law's Langley Speedway, those of you on TV, you can see 27 points is the gap from Carson Kvapil to Chad McCumbee. You can only get, I think, 35 points is the maximum point total you can get on any given night. So that's a huge lead for Chad McCumbee. Again, Caden Honeycutt, and then everybody else that's had some bad luck throughout the year.
I think the important thing to note there, you talked about the bad luck. Bobby McCarty's had 3 DNFs in 5 races.
And that's big. 2 of those, he ran out of fuel. 1 at Caraway, 1 at Greenville, and then Franklin County a few weeks ago, busted an A-arm. Who busts an A-arm anymore?
Talk about bad luck.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is absolutely insane.
These cars riding around the racetrack here this evening at Larry King Law's Langley Speedway. The track backs, it opened in 1950, paved in 1968. 6 degrees in the turns, 2 degrees on the straightaway. Exact .397 miles around. And hey, looking at new LED lights the third quarter of 2022. So this racetrack continues to innovate year over year. Parade laps taking place here this evening. These drivers weaving these cars back and forth, trying to get some heat in those tires and make sure they're ready for this most important start coming up here in just a few.
Absolutely. Of course, all the previous divisions have had some rubber on the racetrack. You want to try to figure out how your car is going to react to that. And also want to say thank you to those of you tuning in on social media on our MPM Marketing free preview. We're going to give you about the first 25 laps or so of this one. If you like what you see, the address on the bottom of the frame is where you can go. And there are the question marks because we don't know who will fill that space at the end of the night. All 3 of those races were fantastic in their own right. Deke McCaskill, the seas parted in turn 3 on the final lap. Lane Riggs made a friend with Corey Heim that night to take victory. There's some sarcasm there if you didn't pick up on it. Caden Honeycutt absolutely laid it to them 1 year ago, and he was nearly unbeatable and untouchable that night. What will be the story in 2022?
I looked at that stat, Deke McCaskill. Wow, he's got to come from deep in the field.
He does. Starts back in about the 18th spot or so, does Deke McCaskill. Through the KRC Power Steering Start Zone, the Hedgecock pole sitter is Carson Kvapil with Connor Hall alongside. The green flag from Brandon Willard is in the air, and the visithampton.com 125 is green. Right up there with the big dogs.
Indeed, that's the case. Right near the head of the field, fighting for that second spot. Connor Hall, this is actually his first start at this racetrack in 2022. He's been traveling with the Cars Tour, and he's been having fun racing with you guys this year.
He has. As we mentioned, 1 win, the Goodyear All-American Speedway, couple of poles, great runs all season long, and already starting to see Carson Quapple check out. And I think Butterbean says, hey, I got to get going, bud. I got to get going. I need to get out of here. He's running away from us. And I think maybe this could be a little bit of inexperience on Brendan Queen's part. Not so much as a race car driver in itself, but here with the Cars Tour to know what the pace of the race is or is not.
That's right. Certainly Butterbean has run a lot of laps around this racetrack. Not so many laps with the Cars Tour, as he was excited to be part of this race here tonight. Actually had some problems in practice yesterday, some engine issues, and they've been able to overcome that and get into tonight's race.
Looking a little bit further back in the field, this toward the tail end of the top 10, you see Mason Diaz there on the bottom in the white 24. The white 2, Brandon Pierce. There's the 8B of Chase Burrow. Braden Rogers way up the racetrack as well. We've seen a lot of these guys kind of moving and shaking, if you will, making their way around the racetrack and even forward and back. I even caught a glimpse of Deke McCaskill already up about 3 spots in the running order.
He knows how to get around this racetrack, and I think these drivers are just trying to figure out what their race car wants and how their car's handling. So they're just trying to get the feel for this racetrack. They practiced a lot yesterday and today, and now it's showtime.
Look at Zach Miracle there in the 32 car. That's for position number 4. He's making the outside work here at Langley, and if you're not familiar with Langley, yeah, it's a flat 4/10 mile oval, but guess what? There's 2 grooves, and right now there's almost 3 as Chad McCumbee using the apron to look underneath of Brendan Queen.
He went about as low as you can go, and they're thinking about still going 3 wide over in 3 and 4. Brendan Queen has his work cut out.
Can 3 wide work here?
It can, but it's really dicey to make it work and to make it work on the other side of the turn.
Well, Brendan Queen saw what Zach Miracle was doing. He now to the top of the racetrack, trying to motor around Connor Hall. Move Brendan Queen momentarily up to second. Yes, that time at the line. So the old school video games car doing it the old school way. Second spot now belongs to the Butterbean.
All but cleared him coming off of turn number 2. The 77 car's trying to bounce back, but now he's got his hands full as he's trying to keep some cars behind him.
Yeah, Chad McCumbee now underneath of him in the preferred lane here. Caden Honeycutt trying to follow suit as well. And even McCumbee thought about the outside lane as here goes Hall back around Brendan Queen for the runner-up spot.
Look at that. Hall saw Brendan Queen do it the previous lap to him. He said, hey, I might give that a shot as well because they know Carson Quapple is running away from them.
Well, Carson has backed back up to them as here goes Queen back underneath of Connor Hall. Back and forth, top and bottom. I feel like we're playing a game of switcheroo. If this place was still dirt, they'd almost be doing slide jobs. Not quite, but close enough.
Exactly, and I look at the leaderboard there. We still have 113 laps to go. We are extremely early in this race. Drivers have to be careful because you certainly don't want to wreck this early in the event.
No, you do not want to wreck this early in the event by any means. You don't want to even doink up the car for that matter. That can become a problem as well. So you got to make sure that you keep everything in check, but you do not want to give up all that valuable track position. As here goes McCumbee now, getting around Queen. That's for second. Caden Honeycutt trying to take third. The big loser on this exchange has been Connor Hall. And looking fourth, where did Mason Diaz come from here in the opening 13 laps?
Wow, he has come to life here early on as we watch him race back to 1 and 2. It's like a hornet's nest. You see Mark Wirtz, another local Langley Speedway racer in that car number 55, making his start here tonight. He's doing a good job. But look at Brendan Queen. He is free-falling through the field.
Does he have a problem? I'm sure James Pike will make his way over there. Queen was so good early and thought maybe he might have a shot at this, but he is quickly falling through the field. Connor Hall got stuck behind him, lost a good 5 or 6 positions, and Queen shows no signs of, well, stopping the bleeding essentially. Finally, Zach Miracle gets down. He was caught in the same boat, stuck on the outside lane behind the 03 car.
Tough break there for Brendan Queen. As I say that, this reminds me of the season opening event for the late models at this racetrack. He nearly went a lap down in that 100-lap contest. He was just trying to save those tires, ended up coming back and winning that event. So I'm not going to count Brendan Queen out quite yet.
Well, the good news is we are likely going to have a caution or 2 in this one, so it's not over by any means for Brendan Queen. The good news is he's still on the lead lap. The car's still in one piece, so you can kind of dial it in as you go. But look at this. Chad McCumbee now has got a little bit of pressure from last year's winner, Caden Honeycutt.
I look at Chad McCumbee, and I look at the stats here. He's the second most lap leader here in 2022. That car has been right near the front all season long. This does not surprise me here tonight.
Absolutely. He's very quietly made those stats. He's very quietly been a threat, and that's why he's second in points right now. Of course, Caden Honeycutt, third in championship points, running third at the moment. Again, no secret, no coincidence. Even Brandon Pierce is up there in the 5th spot. Pierce started back in the 12th as Connor Hall. These guys are about a quarter of a lap behind leader Carson Quapple. That is positions 8, 9, 10, and 11 on the screen.
So they have a long ways to go. Still early on in this event, 103 left to go here, battling for that 8th, 9th, and 10th position. And Connor Hall started right up near the front. Maybe he's saving something, or maybe he just doesn't have the car he needs tonight.
I think it might be a combination of both. I would not be surprised if he's saving a little something. Oh, there you go. Battle in the corner of the screen. That's the 55 of Mark Wirtz that just slid by Brandon Pierce for the 5th spot.
He's come from a long ways. He started in 13th spot, so that car is on rails. We're talking about Mark Wirtz as he comes off of corner number 4, and he has his eyes set now on Mason Dean.
You'll have that when you get some of those quick Corvette parts underneath the hood. Just saying. There's Deke McCaskill now working his way around Connor Hall. So this thing is starting to shape up to be a humdinger, a barn burner, and one you do not want to miss. That's going to be lap number 25 complete. If you're watching on social media, we'll see you on the flip side. Tune us in, www.carstour.tv.
There is no shortage